to say this with all respect and curiosity and without judgment, right? I pray that as women, we get to a point where we truly, truly deal with our insecurities, our fears, in a way where we take it to God so that we're not settling. And I'm only speaking to women because I'm a woman. So I'm not going to speak to the man about how he needs to be. I'm speaking to women when it comes to recognizing our value, maintaining that value, and then being able to trust God through the process. It's so many women out here that have lowered the standard, that have lowered their value just because the enemy has implanted in their minds that they will be single for the rest of their lives. They won't have kids, or wherever stage of life that you're in, or whatever fear that you're in. And that is all a plot of the enemy for women to take the bare minimum, for women to take whatever a man dishes out. And it's sad because a man of value that truly is sent from God, like, is not going to be okay with you settling for less, because then that means he's less. Then that means he doesn't have any value. So I just wish that we would get to this point as women to understand that we have to find out what is driving us when it comes to these desires to be in a relationship, to stay in a relationship. What fear is there? What insecurities are we carrying? And we need to take it to God, and we be accountable and check ourselves so that you can get the best and you do not have to settle, because these dudes getting away with a whole bunch of stuff that they won't even let you do to them. But women are okay with that because it's a fear of, I'm getting old, I don't want to be lonely, I don't want to be what people say about, a successful career woman, and I don't have no man. And it's like, do you know how to build your life outside of a man? Some people have men and they boring. They don't know how to build their life. They don't know how to have a life outside of a man. Do you know your purpose outside of a man? Do you know your calling, your assignment outside of a man? It's like, what fear is really driving you? And not even that, like, some women have great husbands, have great men, and great men of God, and they pass away suddenly or something happened. So it's like, outside of a man, and the fear of not having a man, what is your purpose? Like, what is your life about? Like, what is your legacy? What are you building? Not for you to be seen as a boss chick, not for you to be seen as whatever society value puts on us, but it's like something that fulfills you, something that brings you joy, something that makes you like excited to wake up, to serve God. So what brings you joy? Seek that when it comes to those fears and questions of settling. It's so much disrespect that women are putting up with in marriages, in relationships, just so they can say they have a man. And I'm not anti-marriage. I'm not anti-man. I'm really about respectful, meaningful, purposeful relationships. Because what is the point of having someone lay next to you when you lonely? Having someone lay next to you when you don't really claim them, or it's something inside of you that feels like this ain't it. So at the end of the day, What fear is keeping you in places and spaces where you're not valued, you're not considered, you're not thought of, you're not protected, you're not covered, you're not provided for, you're not safe emotionally, mentally, sexually, financially, spiritually, like professionally, like personally? Like, you're not protected. There's no safety there. But you got a man, sis. Like, that's not a flex at all. And again, I am not against men. I am not against relationships, marriages. But I am against those fake relationships where women are literally dying emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, sexually, physically, even in their health, just so they can say they have a man and they're married. That is not a flex at all. To me, that is not life. That is not living. That is not purposeful. That is not enjoyable to watch, because God said that he wants to give us life and life more abundantly. So at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that there's not any challenges that you're going to go through, because every relationship has its own developmental stages. But is it healthy? And are you dealing with it in a healthy way? Or are we just over here flexing toxic relationships just so we are not alone? And I'm not in it because I'm single, and I'm grateful for that. Until God give me somebody that is worth it, that I don't have to lie and to flex about. Like, this joy on my face and the smile that you see will be for real. It is not going to be something that is like, I'm in pain, I'm dying on the inside, but yet on the outside we look good together. We have couple goals written on us, but it's not cute. It's not healthy. It's not validating. It's not anything that God is to me. So I just pray that women see their value. I just pray that women deal with their insecurities, their fears of being alone, their fears of not having a man, their fears of whatever the fears you have. Is why are you allowing yourself to be in spaces and places that you're not protected, that you're not loved, that you're not valued? Like, what is driving you there? Even if you come from a toxic background with your childhood, my God, get some counseling. Go find a mental health professional to help you. Like, there are women who've been in toxic childhood traumas and relatives that have great men that love them and value them like God. And it's not like your background has nothing to do with the value that you are. Just because your family, whoever treated you that way, does not mean that's how God feels about you. That's what the enemy wanted you to believe. But that's not who you are. That's not your value. And you are still capable of love. You are still capable of safe love. You are still valuable. You are still worthy. You are still amazing, sis. Stop dealing with men that don't put you in that position for you to feel and see your value, because God called you the apple of his eye. So every man that is attached to you should also see you like that and treat you like that. So what fear is inside of you, sis, that keeps you in places and spaces with men who don't value you, who don't treat you like the princess, the queen that you are? Are you afraid that you're getting too old and you don't have a man? Are you afraid that your biological clock is ticking and you don't have a man? Are you afraid that you won't give birth? Like, have you read the Bible? Have you seen women that still were able to have kids after a certain age? Stop paying attention to society's stereotype of their own limitations. Don't put that on God. Wait for what God has for you. And then also found value in your life and purpose in your life in the singleness that you are in, so that you can love on yourself and set your standards that God said you need to set, so that you can be valued, you can be loved, and you can be considered and respected and protected the way that God wants you to be, not the way that your fears are driving you. So may we be women that challenge those fears of you too successful, and you too this, or you too that, you never gonna find a man. Don't put your insecurities on me. Don't let people put their insecurities on you. Don't let people put their fears on you. Don't let people put their limitations on you. Why are you focused on my life anyway? Focus on yours. Because I'm pretty sure with the man that you got, my life is still better than yours. Because I'm successfully single. Period. And I don't have to pretend to be in a relationship with a man that don't love me or value me the way that God says so, just so I could flex on my family, my friends, my sorors, whatever. But I can build a life that God wants me to build and be who God wants me to be and enjoy it and not have to lie to do so. I take that any day over being a pawn or a beard for a man who don't really love himself. And he's inflicting me with his pain and his trauma because he did not do the work that he needed to do. So, again, may we be women that value ourselves. May we be women that love ourselves. May we be women that set the standard. May we be women that do not live in fear of what other people think of our singleness. May we be women that do not succumb to society's noise of what value they place on a woman. May we be women that go against the grain hard and just pursue the will and purpose of God and the value that He says we have, and not based on our fears, our parents' fears, our family's fears, our friends' fears, or whatever it is. Like, that is a game people play when they put you in a position to make you second guess your value because you don't have something, or you not in something that they think you need to be in order for them to place value on you. Now, you can keep your low value. I don't need the value from you. I need the value from myself, and I need the value from God. Stop thinking about what people value they place on you. Because if they place in value based on their little crooked system that they have, or their little insecurity that they have, you're not going to even understand your value, because one minute you valuable and you up here, and the next minute you're not. Focus on the value that God says you have, and you will be one of the most unstoppable women on this planet. You will be one of the most revered women on this planet. You will love yourself, and you won't even care about the noise, because at the end of the day, regardless of the struggles that life throws at us, regardless of the things that we deal with, regardless of the climate in life, your value that's rooted and planted in God, it still sticks. It doesn't change.